I'm Angela Sharp, and this is The Daily Mix. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. It was a very interesting weekend, actually. The Cardinals said goodbye to a fan favorite, Adam Wainwright, and it was a 3-day, basically, retirement party for Mr. Wainwright. On Friday, it was the Wayno era, which is kind of a knockoff of the Taylor Swift era. There was a Taylor Swift cover band, but the shirt said the Wayno era on it. It was pretty cute. And then on Saturday, Adam actually sang a couple of country music songs because I think maybe he might want to be a country music singer now that his career is over. And then of course on Sunday was the huge retirement party for him. There was a celebration, everybody was on the field. That's right, Pujols and Yadier Molina were there. Of course they had to be there to say goodbye to their friend. And he got a couple of gifts, right? So he got this guitar, like I said, country music singer. He got that guitar right there with the Cardinals logo on it. But here's a gift that I thought was really odd that they gave him. Now they said they had to check with his wife. They gave him a dog. So the dog's name apparently is Louie. Apparently none of his children knew about it. It was just the wife and the Cardinals that knew about the dog and picked out the dog. They seem all real thrilled with the dog though. In fact, I think it's his oldest daughter. She was almost crying. She was so excited. So that season is over, and of course the Cardinals season is over. So until next year, maybe you can come up and see me in the Budweiser Terrace next season. But you know who I met in the Budweiser Terrace? The guest on the show today. Ethan Carl is a country music singer and songwriter. He's on the show today. He's gonna tell us what he's doing. I know there's an album coming out in December, a music video coming up in not too long, so we're gonna get the scoop from him in just a little bit. So let's get started on today's Daily Mix. New this fall, Circus Harmony is offering free circus classes at several rec centers throughout the city of St. Louis. Children 6 and up can learn tumbling, juggling, balancing, and other fun circus skills completely free of charge. I absolutely adore this. The classes currently meet weekly at 5 area centers, and more classes and rec centers are going to be added later in the year. You guys know that I tried to hang out with them and get in the lira, I think is what they call it, the big circle. Man, that's a lot harder than it looks, but it would be so much fun if I did it as a kid, because I was petrified of falling to my doom. As an adult, we're worried about breaking bones and stuff. Kids don't care about that. They're not worried, so they're probably gonna get really great at it. If you want to join up or get more information, you can find all that information and find out what rec centers nearest are you. Visit circusharmony.org. Now, this weekend, the Best of Missouri Market returns to the Missouri Botanical Garden. There you'll find more than 120 vendors with everything from handcrafted items, locally produced food, a kids corner with a petting zoo, pumpkin decorating, and so much more. They're even going to have a black Shire horse that's larger than a Clydesdale from Herman Farm. Now this year will be a variety of demonstrations at the Buyer Event Center, and food court will be solely food trucks, so it sounds delicious. The Best of Missouri Market runs this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can find a list of vendors and a schedule of events at mobot.org/market. Just east of the Botanical Garden, you'll find another popular event, the historic Shaw Art Fair. This fine art features a variety of artwork from 120 artists, as well as student art galleries, food, live music, and more. The art fair will be returning this Saturday and Sunday on the parkway of Flora Place at Tower Grove Avenue. You can find all the details at shawartfair.org. This weekend also marks the return of GroveFest. This annual street festival features a merchant village, a food village, featuring restaurants in the Grove, street performers, main stage acts, a family area, and a little bit more. This free event is open to all ages, and it runs from 3 to 11 p.m. this Saturday in the Grove at Manchester and Boyle. You can visit thegrovestl.com for more information, but if you typically cut through that area to get somewhere, Saturday's not the time to do it because that place usually is packed. The streets are usually packed, so, if you're not going to it, don't drive to it, basically. The Autism Speaks St. Louis Walk is also back. The walk raises virtual funds to help create a more inclusive world for all people with autism, while promoting inclusion and celebrating differences. Everyone is welcome. And for those with sensory sensitivities, there will also be a quiet area that can be used if needed. The 2023 St. Louis Walk will take place in Forest Park at the Upper Muni Lot this Saturday, October 7th. You can register and learn more at autismspeakswalk.org. And the City of St. Louis Department of Personnel will be hosting a citywide career fair this weekend. If you need a job, now is the time to check it out. Representatives from all city departments will be on hand to meet with job seekers and provide the on-spot interviews. The career fair will take place at City Hall. Parking is free this Saturday, October 7th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can find a list of openings at stlouis-mo.org/jobs. Lot of good jobs on there. Now, I don't know if you've been living underneath a rock, but apparently Taylor Swift dating a football player is big news, right? She went to a Kansas City Chiefs game. Even the NFL changed their Twitter to the Taylor era. Okay, so this is how serious we are. Well, she followed this boyfriend to New York for his game there, and the cameras could not stop watching her. In fact, she was there with Ryan Reynolds, and I don't think the announcer made that announcement not once. I was like, oh, that's Ryan Reynolds. Nobody cared because Taylor Swift was there. She's increased her boyfriend's jersey sales like 400%. Tickets to games that she might be going to are selling out like crazy. To have this much star power is nuts. But if you have a Swiftie in your life, you know that it was really hard for them to get tickets to her concert, the Eras concert. So now she's taking it to theaters. I'm thinking if you want these tickets, you're gonna have to buy them quickly. I personally know a Swiftie who has 5 tickets to 5 different of this concert in theaters. So I'm gonna show you just a little taste of what that might be like.
Welcome to the Eras Tour. This has been the most extraordinary experience of my entire life. To go on a little adventure together, and that adventure is going to span 17 years of music. How does that sound? Welcome to the acoustic set. Are you ready for it? I'm driving you back in the car, and I'm crying like a baby coming home from the bar. I'm fine, but it wasn't true. People would come up to me and they'd be like, "You're gonna just like do a show with like all the albums in it?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be called the Eras Tour. See you there."
Now, it looks like a concert you might want to check out if you're a Swiftie or maybe even a football fan now. But we're going to go from Taylor Swift to another musical act. I have Ethan Carl here. Thanks for joining me today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so I obviously met you at Busch Stadium when you played there. But how long have you been in a band? I mean, you are the center focus of the band, but how long have you been doing this?
It's actually a more recent development. I think we just hit the year mark maybe a few months ago. So this is a new venture, but one I'm certainly excited to be a part of, and excited to see what doors open moving forward. So.
I love that. Well, when did you know you could sing?
Well, it's funny. I grew up singing in choirs, and I was in a couple musicals, and as a kid, you kind of rationalize like, oh, people might be just saying nice things. about me, you know, but I heard that I could sing. I was told that I could sing maybe in middle school, and, you know, who was very secure in middle school, right? So you just kind of brush that aside. But that's where I first heard it, and I was a college wrestler, and, you know, to kind of bide the time, while cutting weight or whatever, you know, I'd mindlessly sing, and I had an assistant coach tell me once that I was pursuing the wrong profession and I needed to get rid of my major and just kind of go this route. And so him and I joke about that from time to time, but that's kind of how I ended up initially thinking, you know, maybe this is something I should give it a whirl at. And
maybe this is something I should do. So
yeah.
You basically are country for the most part.
Yeah, I like to think so. I mean, I just kind of sing what I know and about what I've experienced. But it gets classified in the country genre, and I grew up listening to country music, so maybe that perpetuates things as well. But
kind of helps a little bit.
For
so
sure.
You say you like to write things about what you know. I know you wrote a song for your fiance. And
yeah.
Wrote a song for your dad?
Yeah, I did. That's our most recent single release in September. The song is called Busch and Bud. It kind of, you know, my dad's kind of a gruff, tough personality, and you know, with this new chapter of my life, you know, it's foreign to him, so he's been as supportive as he could be. You know, my fiance and my dad have been my #1 fans, and I'm very grateful for that. But the song is called Busch and Bud. It kind of compares and contrasts my dad and I, while also talking about some, you know, growing up and fears that I have moving forward of, you know, a time when realistically he's no longer with us. So I think it's marketable to everybody.
Well, we have
sure.
a little bit. You've got a video coming out. Let's talk about when this video comes out for that.
Video's going to be out very soon, so I hope people keep checking our YouTube channel, looking for it. It's one that I'm really excited about. We had a lot of members of the community and friends and family come out and check it out, and wanted to be a part of it, which I'm grateful for. So it's going to really highlight dads and sons. And
well, we have a clip
all right,
of that music
let's show
video.
it.
So let's, if we can just roll that little clip of Busch and Bud.
Busch Light and Bud, always one more round. He's my good buddy. Hell, he's my best friend. This one's for you, my old man. He's my good buddy. Hell, he's my best friend. This one's for you, my old man.
I like the disclaimer at the end because no dad is safe in that music video.
That's right. Time gets us all.
I don't like to think that my dad is invincible. So
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what, I think the first line of the song says it best, like, my dad's my Superman, you know, and I think a lot of guys growing up, you know, that's their first Superman is their father, and they idolize their father, and, you know, I mean, yeah, he's one of my best friends, you know, so thinking of a time when he's not with us, you know, writing this song, which kind of came to me pretty organically, you know, is almost therapeutic in a way to kind of process, you know, the inevitable, but I also cherish the time that we have and the time that we had in the past in the first verses.
well, I love that. So let's talk about your career. Is this what you're doing full time?
Oh yeah, I'm all in.
You're all in.
Full tilt boogie, yeah.
You've quit everything else. You are in this.
Yeah, a series of unfortunate events kind of led me to going full time in music. You know, and it was something that I didn't want to grow old and wonder what could have been.
For sure.
So, you know, I like to exhaust all possible options, and this is certainly the right place for me. I mean, when I look back on things that have happened in my life, you know, I see the connections and the purpose behind leading me to where I am right now. So I'm so grateful.
Oh, I love the way that you've put that, like everything led you to this point.
Yeah, I believe that. I do. And again, you know, sometimes it's like, who was it, Batman that said the night is darkest right before the dawn?
Right.
Yeah, and I believe that to be true. I'm in a great spot.
So obviously, country music, I'm assuming you're making quite a few trips to Nashville.
Yeah, I've made some trips for sure. That's where I gotta recognize my producer, my little sister, who's based out of Nashville, and she's helped us compile actually the album that's gonna be coming out in December.
Well, let's talk about the album.
Let's.
So what kind, I mean, it's country, but what can we expect from the album?
Well, you can expect kind of my life story up to this point. The highs and lows, you know, the inevitable things that we all experience. There's a couple covers on there that I'm gonna tease that I think are really gonna turn some heads that I'm excited about. A couple that not many classified country acts or individuals would necessarily cover,
Okay.
which I'm really excited about,
Yeah.
that I think are gonna help market our product and brand that I really believe in. So.
Well, you've already made some connections with the local music scene here
Yeah.
in St. Louis, which is good.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
when this album comes out, what is that called? Moving Too Fast?
Movin' Too Fast. Yeah, we released that single in August, and that's going to be the title track for the album, Movin' Too Fast.
And that album's coming out in December. Where can people find that information?
People can find that on our YouTube page. If they just search Ethan Carl, they can find that on our website, ethancarl.com, and of course, social media is all under Ethan Carl Music.
I'm assuming you have to really, really use social media in the day of trying to get your music out there.
Yeah, social media is kind of a blessing and a curse, but I certainly, it's our number one resource as artists to get our brand out there and make sure people know what's going on with our lives and our pursuits. So.
Well, when you talked about, you know, kind of a series of unfortunate events getting you here, what would you tell somebody who might be watching, who maybe thinks they have a talent and maybe they're like, oh, I wonder if I could do that? Like, what would you tell them?
I'd say go for it. I mean, life's too short.
Obviously, if you saw the music video, he kills everybody off.
No deaths were harmed in the making of the video.
Oh, that's right.
We made that disclaimer. But I just have to say go for it. I mean, we live in a world where people really kind of encourage you to go follow the protocol.
The standard protocol, right?
Standard protocol.
Be a little worker bee.
Yeah, and there's certainly, I mean, you can't be reckless, right? You can't be an astronaut on Monday and then a music singer on Tuesday, you know. But I'd encourage somebody to go for what they love and anticipate that there's going to be highs and lows and setbacks and pitfalls. And, you know, if it's really what you love, you know, you're gonna find ways to love it in the lows too. You know, not just on the mountaintops, which will come if you stay the course.
And everybody is looking for those mountaintops. Now, somebody who might be listening, we're gonna play a little bit of your music in the credits, but if they're watching and they're like, I kind of like country, why should they listen to you or maybe check out your music online?
I think the number one thing is that I write all of my own songs.
Right.
You know, so it's authentic, it's real, it's about things that I've experienced, and I take a lot of pride in my storytelling, in my music. And you know, I would love the opportunity to co-write with other individuals, but that hasn't really transpired yet. You know, it's mostly been me writing about what I know, which I think is I mean, I'm biased, but I think it's the best place to start.
Oh,
know?
Absolutely. And I feel like people, when you're singing these songs, people are going to know they are true to you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it really makes me feel good when people say, man, I've heard you sing some covers, but the songs that you wrote certainly hit home with me more, and maybe that translates better.
Oh, absolutely. Well, let's give all your social media handles where people can find out more information one last time.
Yes, ma'am. YouTube page is Ethan Carl. Ethan Carl Music on all streaming platforms, on all social media services, so that's where you'd be able to find us.
You've made it pretty easy. It's mostly just your name, sometimes with music after it.
That's right.
That is wonderful. Now, like I said, we're going to play a little bit of his song while we go into the credits, but after you follow Ethan, make sure you follow us on all our social media channels. We've got Facebook, X, TikTok. We don't have TikTok yet. We need TikTok. I'm looking at her screen and do you have a TikTok?
Gotta have TikTok.
You gotta have a TikTok.
Gotta have
But
TikTok.
you can go to stltv.net for all that information. You can always send us a note. We love to hear from you. That's gonna do it for the mix, but keep it right here on STL TV, but experience St. Louis. I'll see you next time.
He's my Superman, and he always has been. Treats mama right through thick and thin. He's loyal and rich, and not one to back down. Goes the extra mile, won't follow the crowd. And I drink Busch Light, and he drinks Bud. To tell you the truth, I